So we're at Huntington Beach State Park in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. We're going to show you the North Campground in a separate video. We've done a walking tour of the South Campground, but this is the entrance coming in. It's part of the entrance. Once you come in, you'll go up here to the gift shop, the souvenir shop, to check in. And then depending on whether you're staying in the North or the South Campground, you'll proceed from the gift shop after you've checked in. They have 3 dump stations set up here. Nice dump stations, wide enough for you to get your stuff in. Just be mindful, there is no potable water here. It's all cleaning water at the dump station. But there's 3 lanes. I'm going to show you this map just before we get started so you'll have a reference. This is the map of the state park, the whole state park. This is where you will enter off of Highway 17. So you'll come into the park here. You'll follow it, it'll cross over the marsh, and you'll come up to the stop sign. If you're staying at South Campground, you'll take a right and come to the gift shop. Before you go anywhere, you got to go to the gift shop and check in. And then you'll turn around and come up here to the North Campground. And I'm going to just quickly show you the North Campground real fast because it is huge. But we're going to do a walking tour of this whole campground today. If you'll look at the map, the ones in green, which I will try my best to point out to you, they're going to be your full service hookups with 30 amp. If it is in red, it is only electricity and water. There's no sewer. So we'll go take a walking tour of this campground. And this is the North Campground. And like I said, if you're going to be staying or you're interested in full hookups with 50 amp, that's going to be in the South Campground, which is in a separate video. So as you come in, the very first thing you're going to see past the dump stations heading into the North Campground is going to be your trash receptacles. You can bring golf carts to this, but they have to be registered. And also, I think they charge a fee. So this is a big loop with some inner loops in it. So we're going to start this way, and all of these are going to jump across the road. It'll start with 1 and 2, but I'll point them out to you as we go. On the right, this is campsite 1. Campsite 1 is just 30 amp and water. We're going to go check out the breakers in campsite 1. I'll show you what they look like. As we're going through the North Campground, I'll try to indicate it, but on the right, these campgrounds, the beach is just across the woods here, just behind the woods.
And each of these sites in the North Campground have a picnic table and a fire ring.
So this one just has 30 amp and a 20 amp with water. And like I said earlier, that's going to be all of them in the North Campground. If you need 50 amp service, you need to check out the video on the South Campground. All of that is 50 amp full hookups. Over there they offer 50, 30, and 20 amp with water and electric. This is going to be campsite 2. This is a full hookup with 30 amp. So it's going to have your water and your sewer. And I don't know exactly what you would call this, but it's like an inner circle. To the right is campsite 3. Campsite 3 is not full hookups. Campsite 4 is full hookups. 30 amp breaker though. So 2 and 4 so far are full hookups, 30 amp breaker. The Ox and the Fox, we're right here in campsite 5. And we'll walk in there and show you our campsite. This campsite is really kind of wide. Typically we don't take the truck bed camper off, but this site was perfect for it. And we had some scurrying around Myrtle Beach and Murrells Inlet we wanted to do. We went to the Night of 1,000 Candles last night at Brook Green Gardens, which is also part of this state park. And in our regular video of us truck bed camping, you can watch that and find out about how beautiful that was. But I'll let Justin walk around and show you our campsite.
Site 5 is, like Trina said, a really wide site. You do have a neighbor on that side, but the next neighbor is actually through the trees, which gives you a sense of privacy. Also, like all the other sites that are not full hookup, you've got the 30 amp electrical and water. And we're going to continue on.
So while we're here at our campsite, I shedded my coat because the sun's coming out and I had to get me some water. So we're in campsite 5. Across the road is campsite 6. 6 is just 30 amp with water, no sewer. To the right, campsite 7. 7 is just 30 amp and water, no sewer. And the same as with 8. So this is parking for a beach access that's right here behind us. And there's some people walking down it right now. So give us just a second, we'll zoom the camera around. There is a beach access right here to my right. And it is between sites 7 and 9. We've showed you 7 and we'll get to 9 just as soon as Justin shows you the beach access. Also here they have a little wash station so you can wash your feet and your hands, wash off your stuff. They also have a bike rack. This is a concrete access, so if you have someone who's handicapped in your party, this is perfect for them to be able to get down and go to the beach. But you'll notice about this state park, Huntington Beach has concrete access for their beach accesses. So that's pretty cool. The bathhouse is also located on my left, which we'll show you in a little bit when we get closer over there to it. This is number 9. This is just going to be 30 amp hookup with water, no sewer. To the left, this is campsite 10. 10 is 30 amp water, no sewer. Right here is campsite 11. 11 is the same way. 30 amp, water, no sewer. Campsite 12 on the left. 30 amp water, no sewer. Thirteen's on the right. 30 amp water, no sewer. But as Justin told you earlier, they all have fire rings and picnic tables. And the ones on the right so far, you can hear the beach. They're butted up to the back of the beach. There's some woods between you and the beach. This road right here is going to be for sites 74 through 88, which we're going to take them in order, so we'll catch this a little later on in the video. Coming up to the right is campsite 15. Fifteen is 30 amp, water, no sewer. And this one is campsite 14.
If you'll notice with campsite 14, it backs right up to that other loop, which I think is like 74 and 76 probably, but it backs right up together. So if you have a group or you got a party that you want to camp together with, those would be good sites. All right, so we're on campsite 16. This is campsite 16. It's also just water and electric, 30 amp hookup. And for the sake of time and to keep from panning back and forth, we're just going to show you the campsites, and I'll call out the number because there's no more full hookups till I think we get to like site 47. So we're just going to show them to you and I'll call the number out. They're all virtually the same from here to 47. But on my right will be campsite 19. I'm not sure what that building is behind it. It may be a community building. I don't really see a direct path to get to it. But other than that building, it would be a nice big site with probably a lot of privacy. Directly across will be campsite 18. Then on my right, campsite 21. Looks like it's level up at the top, but it's a little bit of an incline backing into it. Camera probably doesn't really show that well. Directly across, site 20. It's a shorter site. It's also got some trees, a lot of shade. Moving on down, you've got another middle loop, which we'll come back to. I think that's sites like 89 through 102. I'm sorry, it'll be sites 99 through 102. We'll hit that when we get to them. On my right, site 23. Nice open site.
Good and wide.
I think the odd numbers are actually coming faster than the even numbers now. So on my left, site 22.
Yeah, we've talked about it quite a bit. I'm like, there's definitely something going on here.
Backs up to a second bathhouse if you see that. When we get to the bathhouses, we'll show them to you. Site 25 on my right. Next site we come to, it's going to be on my right, is site 27. Site 27. Then on the left, site 24. Looks like it would be a longer site for a bigger rig. It does have some trees you have to get up under. I'm gonna catch back up. Also on my left is site 26. And then directly across is site 29, which is a huge site. You see a big rig there. It would be great if you had solar, and a huge play area if you got kids. I'll swing all the way around. Site 28 on my left. It's occupied. Directly across will be site 31. Also on my right will be site 33. 33 will be a private secluded site with a lot of shade trees, a lot of beautiful oak trees behind it. However, just in between site 33 and 35 is another beach access. This one, however, is not paved.
It's used generally for bikes.
It's a beach access. You can ride your bicycles down it. They do have a bicycle parking rack right beside site 33. Trina and I, back in 2021, actually rode our bikes down that trail. Directly across from it is site 30. Backs up to the inner loop. And directly across from the beach access, you have the parking for the beach access. On my right, we have a shorter site, site 35, just beside the beach access. It would definitely be a shorter site for a smaller rig. It is very wide, so plenty of space. The next campsite will be on my left. It'll be site 32. Site 32 will be.
Good morning.
Site 32 will be a site that backs up to the inner loop.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Morning.
Good. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Good.
Blessed.
Pardon?
Blessed.
Yes.
Then across from site 32
Christmas.
will be site 37. It's also a smaller site. Directly across from site 37 will be site 34. It's occupied at this time. Which brings us to the rustic tent area, just here.
That's a hike in.
Yes, you definitely have to park here and hike in. Trina, how many tent sites are available in the rustic tent camping?
There are 6,
6 rustic tent sites.
and I'll show it to you on the map.
It's a little spur trail.
You hike in 1, 2, well, there isn't 3, 4, 5, and 6.
So straight down this loop is sites 103 through 133. We're going to make the left and take these sites in order. All right, after you make the left, you'll have sites 39 on my right. And then directly across from 39 is site 36. It's a long site. It does back up to site 34. So there again, if you have a large group, you want to camp together, that would be a good, kind of like a buddy site. Site 38, right beside it. Site 41. And remember, all of these are still just water and electric 30 amp hookups. Alright, the next site coming up on site 43. It'll be on your right as you're coming in. And then directly across from it is site 40. On our left will be site 42. And across from 42 will be site 45. 45 is water and electric only. But the next site on our right is a campground host. Of course, the campground host has full hookups, water, electric, and sewer for 30 amp. Then you've got site 44 to the left. It's water and electric only. Site 47 to our right. 47 is going to be a full hookup, water, electric, and sewer. Looks like it's a pretty long back end. And it also has a bathhouse just behind it. And we'll take you up and show you that bathhouse at this time. As we come up to the bathhouse, the men's will be to the right, the women's to the left. Trina's gonna go check out and make sure there's nobody in the women's, as I'm gonna do the men's. Also, this bathhouse is accessible to the back sites, which I think was like 108 through it was the 100s, the back loop. We'll show you those in a minute, and I'll let you know when we get past this bathhouse again. But let me check, make sure no one's in here. We have the showers to the left, handicap shower, a regular shower, sinks with mirrors, urinal, of course, toilets. It's a fairly nice bathhouse. I think the one in the South Campground is a little bit newer and nicer. This is the bathhouse we used when we stayed here in 2021. Let's see if Trina, what she found out about the women's side.
So the women's has 2 showers, one of which is a handicap, and 3 toilets, one of which is a handicap. Big, nice shower. This bathroom is nice and clean. You got 3 sinks, some receptacles for your hair dryer, hair irons, and then 3 toilets. One of which is handicap. And this one has a changing table. Very nice bathhouse. If you're wanting laundry service, the bathhouses over here in the North Campground do not have laundry. If you stay in here for a right good while, or if you just need your laundry done, in the South Campground, they have full laundry service with 3 washers and 2 dryers.
All right, we're gonna pick back up. We just left site 47 in the Bathhouse. And if you like these campground reviews that we do for you guys, we do a lot of hard work for you. Walking around all these campsites and annoying these nice campers. If you like these campground reviews, give us a thumbs up on this video and subscribe to our channel. Everywhere we go, we try to do a campground review if it's feasible. So subscribe if you like campground reviews. It helps us, so I know it should be able to help you.
So we're gonna pick back up on site 46, which is right here on the corner. And I'll give you a reference. This lane right here is for sites 89 through 102, which we'll pick up. We're trying to do them in order. But this is campsite 46. It is a 30 amp with water, no sewer. And just to give you a reference, this leads to the bathhouse, and this right here in front of me was campsite 47. And then we're going to pick up right here. This is campsite 49. Site 49 is full hookups. That's a good, nice, long site. It butts back up to the bathhouse, which is the building over here in the corner. But site 49, that's a good, long site. Next up is going to be site 48, right here. 48 is full hookups, 30 amp breaker, 30 amp service. 51 across the road, that's a big site as well. 51 is full service, 30 amp breaker. Campsite 50 right here. 50 is going to be full service, 30 amp breaker. So you'll have your water, electric, and 30 amp breaker.
And sewer.
Yes, I'm sorry, and sewer. Across the lane, site 53. 53 is just 30 amp and water. So 53 does not have sewer. It's got a pretty tree behind that site.
It looks like site 53 backs up to another site on the back loop.
Yeah, I see a tent back there. Next up will be site 55. That's this site right here. 55 is just 30 amp and water, no sewer. And then on our left, this is site 52, right here. That's a big long site. Site 52 is full hookups with 30 amp breaker. And from here on out, the rest of these will just be 30 amp breaker and water, no sewer. Site 54 on my left. 54 backs up to the inner loop. So you will have a camper there and on forward. But if you have children or grandkids, they've got a big, nice play area back there. On my right, this is site 57. And 57 again is 30 amp hookup, just water, no sewer. This site in front of me right here is 59. 59, 30 amp, water.
So site 56 is actually going to be really back in right here on the corner of this intersection. It backs in here. Your hookups just past the street. Site 56 water and electric is right here. Not sure if you can hear me because my mic's not on, but you would back in to site 56 right on this at the intersection, back up by this tree, and your hookups are just behind the tree for site 56. Water and electric, your picnic table and fire pit, fire ring are right here, just behind it, which is typically, you know, it's in front of the camper. It's actually going to be behind your camper at site 56. So you would have some close neighbors on the other loop. I think it's like 88, 89.
And Justin, if you'll stand right there a second, I'm gonna back up and just give them a reference. So we're back on the concrete. This right here, site 57 is right here at my left finger. Justin is at site 56. This is a road. And right here where I'm standing is a road. And then there is actually another road that goes in front of 56.
I could only assume that site 56 would have a lot of traffic because you're right at a main intersection from the main loop. You're at the intersection coming from sites 133, and you're at the exit from sites 88. So site 56 would probably not be my first pick if we were staying here, but Huntington Beach is so nice. If this was the only site, I would take it.
On the right, this is site 61. And again, site 61 is just going to have 30 amp and water, no sewer. On the left, this is site 58. And unless I indicate it from here on out, all of these will have just water and 30 amp. Site 60, 60's here. Bathhouse. And across the road is 63. 63's good long site. It's going to back up towards the woods. There's parking here for the bathhouse, and that's going to be right beside site 60 and right across from site 63. Next up on the right is site 65. 65 also backs up towards some woods. 65 is not that long, and it looks like it has a drop off. Looks like it has a drop off back here in the back. So unless you want your rig to hang off of it, it drops right here. Across from site 65 is 62. 62 is a handicap site. 62 is full hookups with 30 amp service. And it also has a concrete pad. It also has a concrete walkway to the bathhouse.
I don't think we're going to go in the bathhouse. It's going to look just like the other one we've reviewed just a minute ago. Other than it's got concrete sidewalks leading up to it.
67 is on the right. 67 is 30 amp breaker, water only, no sewer. Across from 67 is site 64. That is another handicap accessible site with a concrete pad, 30 amp breaker, water and sewer, and it also has a concrete walkway that leads to the bathhouse.
And that bathhouse would be the first loop bathhouse. Kind of, it's directly across from where we're camped at. That would be our bathhouse, I guess we would use if we were in the need for a bathhouse.
Site 69 is on the right. 69 is 30 amp with water, no sewer. Site 66. 66 is full service, 30 amp, water and sewer.
You said that 66 had sewer?
Yeah, it's got full service. 66 looks kind of short to me. I don't know that I would try to fit a big rig in unless you were going to detach and maybe pull over to the side here. On the right, this is site 71. 71 is 30 amp, water only, no sewer. Site 68 on the left. 68 is full service, so you'll have a 30 amp breaker, water and sewer. This one is site 70. 70 short. Don't know that I would try to put a big rig in there because it looks like it drops off on the back. But 70 is full service, 30 amp breaker, sewer and water. And right across the road is 73.
73 is also the campground host.
73 is the campground host. It's full service as well. And then I'm going to pan to the left, and you see that we have completed that one loop, and we are back at the trash receptacles on my right. And just for point of reference, right here is site 1. So we're going to walk back around and pick up the others and attach them to the video. We're trying to keep them in order for you.
So we're going to hit sites 74 through 88. And if you're looking at the map, when you come in, you're going to come in through here. Once you get to site 11, you're going to make that left. You're going to make that left and go through, it's actually 74 through 88. It comes around here, and then we'll come back and hit 89 to 102, and then we'll go back and hit 103 to 133. So let's get started. As soon as you make the turn, site 74 is going to be on your right here, and it's going to back right up to another campsite off of the main loop. Site 74 is only water and electric, 30 amp hookup. Directly beside it will be site 76. It's the same, water and electric hookup only. And then directly across from site 76 will be site 77. Site 77 backs up to that inner loop. '79 is just beside it, which also backs up towards the bathhouse. And then directly across from site 79 is site 78. Again, 79 and 78 are water and electric only. Right beside 78 is campsite 80. It's water and electric only. Picnic table, fire ring, a huge grassy area for kids to play. Then you've got site 81, which backs up to the bathhouse. Water and electric only. The next site on our left will be site 83. It's water and electric only, backs up to the bathhouse. Directly across will be site 82, which backs up to that huge grassy area. Right beside site 84. Site 84 is water and electric only. Directly across from site 84 will be site 85. Again, it backs up to the bathhouse as well. It's only water and electric, 30 amp hookups. Our next site we come to on our left, just before the intersection, will be site 87. 87 is a full hookup 30 amp service. Water, electric, and sewer at site 87. Directly across from 87 will be site 86. 86 has full hookup service, 30 amp, water, sewer, and electric. Site 88 is only water and electric. Site 88 is that site that appears that it will be right here at this triangle area with site 56, just at the intersection for reference. And site 88 will be the last site on this cut-through road between the two main loops. So we'll pick back up at the next intersection and we'll pick up with site 89. So just across from the bathhouse, in between sites 47 and 49, you'll come to an intersection right at site 46 here. And this is how you access sites 89 through sites 102. And I'll show you on the map how you would actually access them if you were coming into the park. When you come into the campground, you'll enter here. You'd have to go all the way around the loop and then take a left at site 46 to access these sites. Because it's all one-way travel, this loop is. When you come in, it's all one way here. You come in here, or come all the way around to hit 102. Or when you're coming in, you go through here to hit 103. So we're going to check out sites 89 through 102. As we enter this little cut-through lane, site 89 will be on our right. It's occupied at this time. It's only 30 amp service with water and electric. Has the fire pit and a picnic table. Right beside it is site 91. It's the same, water and electric, 30 amp service only. Just across from it is site 90, which is only water and electric. Right beside that, on our left, site 92. 92 is up under a huge oak tree. It's water and electric only. And then, right beside that, is site 94, which is a really long site. You could probably get 2 big rigs in there. Not that you'd be able to hook them up, but they would both fit. 94 is only water and electric. It's just beside the campground host, which would be site 96. Right across from 94 is site 93. Has full hookup, water, electric, and sewer. So if you're looking for a full hookup, site 93 has water, electric, and sewer. Just beside site 93 is site 95. Site 95 has water, electric, and sewer. Full hookup service. Directly across from 95 is 96. We showed you that one. That's the campground host. Right beside the campground host is site 98. 98 is on our left here. It's a long site. It's water and electric and sewer hookup. Full hookup at site 98. Site 97 is directly across from 98. 97 is full hookup. It's occupied at this time. It's 30 amp service, water and sewer. Back on our left, site 100. Site 100 is near the bathhouse. It backs up to this loop. It's a 30 amp service, water and sewer, full hookup at site 100. Site 101. Site 101 backs up to the bathhouse. Site 101 is only water and electric hookup. It is not full service. It's 30 amp water and electric only. And then to my right is site 99. 99 is water and electric only. 30 amp service. Also another long site. Right across from site 99, which also backs up to the bathhouse, will be site 102. 102 is going to be at the stop sign and the intersection of the main outer loop. Site 102 is going to be a long site, not a lot of shade, and it's definitely at the intersection. Just for reference, it does back up to the bathhouse. And again, this is one of 3 bathhouses at the North Campground at Huntington Beach State Park. We're not going to take you inside of that bathhouse because it looks just like the other one that we've already shown you. So we're going to proceed on to site 103.
We've made it back around the loop. We're fixing to show you sites 103 through 133, and just for reference, we're going to show you the map real fast, just to give you a idea of where we are. So we're up here. We're fixing to do this whole outer loop. This is coming into the park, and in order to get up here, you've got to come around the complete circle. So this was the rustic tent area here. This loop right here started site 39. And now we're fixing to go do 103 through 133. None of these sites back here are going to have sewer. They were going to be water and 30 amp electrical only. The majority of these sites on the right are going to butt up to the marsh, and then the ones on the left will actually butt up to sites starting with 33 on down, but there should be some wood separating the two.
On this loop, what's particular about this loop of sites 103 to 133, this is what I would call the wooded sites, or being more in the woods with a tree canopy. Secluded. You're going to feel like you have more privacy in these loops because there are trees and shrubbery in between each site. I don't really think there's any sites really that are really close neighbors.
All right, we're going to start on the right here with site 103. We're going to continue on the right with site 105. Site 105 has some woods behind it. Would be a great play area for kids. It's secluded, has woods on both sides of it, and then right across the road is site 104. 104 is kind of a short site. Up on the right, you have the Sandpiper Pond Nature Trail and Nature Center. That's a pathway that leads to the nature pond, and there's a beautiful nature center. You can check that out in our other video for Huntington Beach State Park. Across the road from that trailhead is site 106. 106 is a long site. You could easily pull a big rig in 106. Just remember, all of these sites we're showing you now are 30 amp water only. There is no sewer. To the right is 107. 107 is a long site. Behind 107 and 109, which is coming up on my right as well. This one is 109. I don't know if you can see it through the trees, but that is actually the nature center. We got some nature in the campsite right now. There's a squirrel and a bird in there. 109 is a long, big site. Be perfect for a big rig. To my left is 108. 108 is a shorter site. All of these sites over here too are going to have your standard fire ring and picnic table. Across from 108 is 111. 111 is a big site. You can see the nature center through the woods behind 111 as well. We'll do this one to the right. This one's 113. 113 has a little heavier shrubbage behind it and trees. You can see just a little bit of the nature center, but not a lot. Across from 113 is going to be 110. 110 is a long site as well. Coming up on the left here is going to be 112. This is 115. 30 amp water only. Next on the right is going to be 117. And then on my left will be 114. So 112 that was on my left and 114, there's a path right back here that they walk to one another. This is 119. You see the bathhouse is here on the left. This is some parking for the bathhouse. Justin and I carried you in this bathhouse earlier in the video. To the right is going to be site 121. It's occupied. There's some space between 121 and the next site coming up. And unless I am wrong, over on this side, I only see stairs leading up to the bathhouse. Did you see a handicap access?
It would only be from site 47.
Yeah, I don't see one on the 100 side that we're on. This is site 123. Here on my right. It's a good long site. It's nicely secluded with woods on both sides. Here on my left is site 116. There's the bathhouse, site 116. Justin is in site 125.
What's special about this site here on site 125 is in 2021 when we stayed in Huntington Beach State Park, this is where we camped with our old truck camper. And I'll give you a little tour of our setup and our campsite right here.
On the left, this is site 118. And again, just in case you missed it, all of these sites are just 30 amp breaker and water, no sewer hookups. On the right, site 127. Site 127 is a deep site. It's a nice site. Nicely secluded. Site 120. And I don't know if you can see it in the video, but we saw this tent from the other road, right behind site 120 on the other side. There is a lane, so you will have a neighbor back behind you. And there's not many shrubs or trees to block the view and keep you secluded. On the right, this is site 128. Site 128 is a shorter site. You could still get a fifth wheel in there and park beside it. It's not as secluded as some of the others. Here's your neighbor at site 129. Site 129 is a deep site. And just like with 128, 129 is not as secluded. But I'll show you that in just a second. Site 122. You will have neighbors on the back side of you. To my right, this is 130. This was 129, 130. There's not a lot of brush between 129 and 130. And then I'll go ahead and show you this one on my right.
131.
This is 131. So you will be able to see your neighbors, which would be perfect if you're group camping. But if you want seclusion, you will be able to see your neighbors. Across from 131 is site 124. 124 is a shorter site, and you will be able to see your neighbors from both sides and behind you at 124. Which again is perfectly fine if you've got a big group and you want to camp together. Site 132 on the right. 132 will offer you some seclusion. There's some trees between you and your next camper. Across from 132 to the left is 126. 126 is a long site. And again, it's just 30 amp and water. We are back at a junction, entering back to the main loop. This is going to be 133 to my right. 133 is a shorter site, and it just has water and 30 amp electric.
And as you can see, I'm not sure if you can see it, straight across the loop is the old Ox and the Fox.
Oh yeah.
And that will conclude this campground tour of the North Campground at Huntington Beach State Park. I hope it was helpful for you guys. I know it was probably scattered about because it was broke the way that it's broke up.
And it might be a long video, but this is actually a huge campground.
With a lot of sites.
Yes.
So if you're planning to stay here, you won't regret it.
And don't forget to check out our other video where we actually camp here ourselves and show you things that we did while we were here. And then we have another one that will show you the South Campground here at Huntington Beach. And as always, everybody, thanks for watching.
Calling at your door, yeah, I'm yours. Anywhere you want, yeah, I'm yours. And now we're singing. I have made a lot of mistakes. I have been too self-involved, been protective of my feelings, but somehow you made me fall. You got underneath the surface and you shattered every wall. And I know I got